Hey listeners, as the calendar year winds down, some leaders are already checking out. They're thinking it's too late and that the year is over. But here's the truth. We're 3 months out, and 3 months is a long time. It's actually 90 days. And that's more than enough to create impact, reset momentum, and even 10x your results.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsas.
Welcome to the Ask Denis episode. This is a freestyle episode where I'm asked a question by our listeners, or I share my thoughts, experiences, and insights from working with many leaders around the globe. Hey there, listeners. Can you just imagine leaders turning around? In fact, you might be one of them. They're turning around already and saying the year's over. Because as we start to head into the final stretch of the year, this is the moment where leadership really counts. Now, it's easy to lose steam and to say that the year is done and then shift your focus to next year. But the truth is, how you lead now, how you show up in these last 90 days, can define not just your results, but your influence and impact as a leader. Because you see, those 90 days, how you do show up really matters. And the thing is, your results will come through if you believe it. And your results will actually happen. But it's also going to have impact on your influence as a leader and also your impact as a leader. So it's an impact on the impact. It's amazing what can actually happen here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to dive into some key moves that you can make to finish the year strong and inspire success. So there's 7 of them, and I'm going to go through all of them right now. Number 1 is a mindset reset. And so many people see October as the end of year, but you know what? It's not, of course. The next 90 days can be a launch pad. It's not shutdown time. Leaders, you need to shift your mindset from winding down to winding up or finishing strong. And here's a question for you to ask yourself. How can I make the last quarter my most powerful quarter yet? I think there are some of you right now who can make it a very powerful quarter. And you know what? That is so inspiring, so exciting. Number 2 is review and refocus. So what I'd like you to do is to revisit the goals that you set at the start of the year. Now, which ones are still in reach? Which ones need to be adjusted? Now, be careful. Don't just give up and think, oh, yeah, because it's looking too far out. Because even if a goal looks too far out or that it's a big goal, you can still do it. You just don't know how much can come in within this last quarter. But I know this is that with clarity, there is power. Because if you can cut out the noise and focus on the goals that will have the biggest impact, that can happen if you have that clarity. Number 3 is action with urgency. Now, 90 days is short enough to create urgency, yet it's long enough to deliver meaningful results. If you think sprints, not marathons, if you can actually set weekly milestones, not just end-of-year targets, things like small, consistent actions, you'll find that they will actually compound fast and you'll start to see a lot more momentum happening. Number 4 will be to re-energize the team. So if you're feeling the fatigue right now, chances are your team is feeling it as well. So as a leader, it's your job to reignite energy and focus. Celebrate the wins, even small ones, and bring people back to the why, the purpose. Motivation is contagious. Now, the thing here would be for you as a leader to make sure that yours is worthwhile catching. In other words, that you do have motivation, that you can inspire others. Number 5 is network and position for the new year. For me, I find that a lot of it comes down to positioning. Whether you've got a brand and how do you position that out in the market. You as a leader, how do you position your brand and the value you can add, whether it be in a board table, whether it be in other meetings, but how can you position things? So now is the time to strengthen relationships, both inside and outside your organization. The seeds that you plant in Q4 will be the opportunities you harvest in Q1. I've done a previous Ask Denis episode on the different seasons and actually when you sow and what you're reaping. Listeners, don't just finish this year strong. Set yourself up for a powerful start to the next year, the new year. Number 6, execution discipline. What I'm going to say to you here, leaders, is that you need to eliminate distractions. Say no to what doesn't matter. Then I'm going to say here is that create laser focus on a few key moves that will bring you the biggest return. Number 7 is the legacy of the year. People are going to remember how you finish. Did you give up or did you double down? The last quarter defines the story for your year as a leader. So that's 7 moves that you can think about. Mindset reset, review and refocus, action with urgency, re-energize the team, network and position for the new year, execution discipline, and the legacy of the year. It's not too late. You've got 3 months to shift gears, re-energize, and bring it home. Leaders, this is where you set the tone. Finish strong, and you won't just complete the year, you'll launch into the next one with unstoppable momentum. So listeners, here's your call to action. I've got 3 questions that I want you to reflect and work on. Here they are. Number 1, what's the one goal you must achieve in the next 90 days to call this year a success? Second question, how are you re-energizing your team for the final sprint? And number 3, what relationships should you be building now to set yourself up for next year? Hey listeners, that's it for this episode. It's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for joining me on the Leadership is Changing podcast. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsas. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.